Hello, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Tanya, and I'm the owner of Golden Apple Agency. And today I'm going to be talking about 2021 Child Tax Credit. What is Child Tax Credit? So, a child tax credit has really been available for qualified children since 1997. A child tax credit is not really something new. So the amount is new because it used to be a $2,000 child tax credit per child under the age of 17. And it was always calculated on your tax return. So before it was used either to offset the taxes that you owed or given to you as a refund. So let's look at an example. Say any previous tax year, let's just say you owed $5,000. And you had one child, which gave you one child tax credit of $2,000. So now, instead of owing $5,000, you only owe $3,000. Let's look at another example. Any previous tax year, you owed $1,000. And again, you had one child that gave you a one child tax credit of $2,000. So now, instead of owing the IRS money, you're getting a refund. And this, of course, does not take into consideration any other credits or anything else. This is just an example of the child tax credit. So what changed? What's new for this year? And how is it different? So the main thing that changed is now you're able to receive an advance payment of the child tax credit starting on July 15th, 2021. So instead of waiting to receive this credit when you file your taxes, you'll be able to receive half of it in monthly deposits. Let's look more into details. So for example, all the children under 6 years old will be receiving a $3,600 tax credit, child tax credit. So that's $300 monthly deposits, again, for the children under the age of 6. And how we get to that calculations is taking the full amount of the credit divided by 12 months, which you get 300. The total deposits will be half of the available credit. And that's because they're only going to be deposited for the 6 months. For children under the age of 17 and older than 6 years old, the credit is $3,000. So that's going to be $250 monthly deposits. Basically, using the same math, we're going to take $3,000 divided by 12, and that will give us $250. Again, this will only be half the credit because it's only 6 months left in the tax year from July to December. So monthly deposits, like I said, will be from July to December, and they will begin July 15th. You should have received a letter from the IRS to let you know if you're going to get these child tax credits. And then make sure you keep track of the deposits since they will be reported on your tax return. Not as income, and it will not be taxed, but more of to balance the credit. So since you're only going to get a half of the credit in advance payments, the rest of the credits you'll get on your tax return. This credit is, of course, available to qualified taxpayers. Who are those qualified taxpayers? Well, those taxpayers are with the adjusted gross income from 2020 or 2019 that are less than $75,000 for single parents and less than $150,000 for married couples filing jointly. So this is based on your 2020 tax return if you have that completed. And if you did not, it's based on your 2019 tax return. So those making under $75,000 for single parents and $150,000 for married couples will receive the full amount of credit available. So the phase out will begin if you make more than that amount. And then if you make over 95,000 if you're a single parent, or 170,000 if you're married filing jointly, those taxpayers do not qualify for this credit. So therefore, those taxpayers will not receive the advanced child tax credit payments or this credit on their tax return. So again, if you filed your 2019 or 2020 tax return, there is nothing that you need to do to get this credit. It will automatically start being deposited into your account or mailed out a check. The monthly payments of this child tax credit will not affect any government benefits that you're currently receiving. So if you're receiving food stamps, or if you are on Section 8, or if you are receiving medical assistance, this will not affect it because this is not income, and therefore it's not going to have an effect on these benefits. And then, of course, you can update your payment method information on the IRS website. So, for example, if you closed your bank account, or if you moved, or any sort of thing that happened between when you filed your tax return and now, you really should go to the irs.gov website and update your information to make sure that you're the one receiving your child tax credit. So, as you can see, even the IRS put out a statement saying, hey, they can't send dragons to protect you. And you definitely have to look out for scams trying to steal your child tax credit payments. There are so many scams out in the world, especially when it comes to situations like this. I cannot tell you how many people had their stimulus checks stolen and forged signatures and cashed. So it's extremely important that you keep track of your stuff and watch out for scams. IRS will not be calling you and asking for your bank information or payment information or anything like that. You will receive plenty of IRS notices or IRS letters before an actual agent will call you. And even then, they're only calling you because you've been selected for an audit or you owe the IRS money. But in general, they don't call you. So be very wary of people calling you and trying to help you with this child tax credit. 30 million households are about to receive their first payment just really in a few days, July 15th. So make sure that no one takes yours. If you're one person among the 30 million households, you can see where you could fall through the cracks. So you are responsible to receive your advanced child tax credit. It is quite a hassle if, God forbid, somebody takes your check and cashes it as you. But the other coin of this whole child tax credit is who should not be receiving it. Who should opt out of the child tax credit and not get the advanced child tax credit payments? So really, the people who should not be receiving this child tax credit payments of every single month are small business owners and self-employed taxpayers. They depend on this child tax credit to offset their tax amount due at the end of each year. People who receive a 1099 at the end of the year have no taxes taken out. So therefore, they owe at the end of the year, and the child tax credit actually helps them owe less. If you opt out, you're not losing this credit. I want you guys to understand. You're not losing this credit. This credit is already yours. Whether you take it now or at the end of the year, you're not losing this credit. You're simply saying, hey, I'd rather claim the full credit on my tax return. Again, just because you opt out of the advance payments, you're not losing this credit. This credit is already yours. But if you are a self-employed business owner and you owe at the end of the year, I would highly recommend to opt out and use this credit against the taxes that you owe to me, it makes no sense in receiving money from the IRS in one hand just to turn around and pay that money plus more from the other hand. So if you're self-employed, small business owner, receive a 1099, and you usually owe taxes at the end of the year, you should really opt out of this advance payments. The other thing is, if you usually get high refunds at the end of the year, your refund this year might be less. That basically, again, if you usually receive a big refund, it is high possibility that the child tax credit is part of that reason. If you receive this credit through the year, then your refund will be less, meaning you're not going to be able to claim this full refund at the end of the tax year and receive this big deposit because you've been receiving this refund throughout the year, throughout half the year. And that's why your refund is less. So that's another thing to think about. If you like receiving big refunds and not little payments throughout the year, then you should opt out of this advance payment. And again, I want to stress to you guys, you're not losing this credit. This credit is already yours. You're just deciding whether you want to get it in monthly payments or whether you want to receive it at the end of the tax year. So I hope you guys make the right decisions, and I hope you guys are better informed. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.